Hi guys, James at Rampant Lion Reviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head over to London once again and we're going to do another visit to Beavertown, and this particular beer is one that I wanted to review for quite a long time, but I just could not get a hold of this beer for love nor money, and it's only thanks to Craig at Kent Beer Reviews that I'm able to review this one for you. So for this one we are going to go to Beavertown Brewery once again, like I said, and we are having a taste of their Tropigamma. This one is the Tropical IPA. It was their 1000th brew. From what I gather, it's a kind of amped up version of Gamma Ray that they've added a lot of different fruits and things to. It comes in at 7% ABV and it's meant to be really good. It's got 94 overall on Rate Beer. We know this brewery's good, and when you have a rating like that on Rate Beer, it's going to be a pretty damn good beer. So like I said, a huge thank you to Craig over at Kent Beer Reviews for sending me this one. He knew I had wanted to try this beer for quite a long time, so he obviously went over and above to actually make sure I got to try this one. He also sent me a bottle from his local brewery, Gad's Ramsgate, as well. That's an Imperial Stout, so I'll review that for one of the kind of mini milestone reviews that I have coming up. But a huge thank you to him. He's a very nice chap, good beer reviewer as well. I'll put his link to his channel in the description below. He's got some really nice beer videos there. He'll probably be able to keep you a bit more up to date on the English craft beer scene than I can, of course. And probably the quirkiest point about his channel is that he reviews a lot of Portuguese beers because his wife's Portuguese. He spends quite a bit of time in Madeira actually, so do make sure you check out his channel, like I say, particularly if you're interested in Portuguese beers, and he and I will probably do a sort of Portuguese-Swedish swap at some time in the future. Hopefully I can meet him at one of these beer festivals sometime, but do make sure you give him your patronage. A very, very nice chap. So anyway, as is usual with my beer reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward, of course. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my other Beavertown reviews. No doubt I'll add more in the near future. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do subscribe to the channel. The whole channel, of course, has a geography-based tagging system, so you can go into the homepage and search for beers based on country, city, state, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlist of beers from different countries as well. There is one there for all the English beers that I've reviewed for you, and as always, please do get in touch and let me know what other beers and breweries you guys would like to see me review. It's always interesting to hear from you guys, so don't hesitate to get in touch through the Facebook, Twitter, Untappd, whatever you want. You guys have always got good suggestions. It's great to hear from you, and the support that you give the channel is hugely appreciated. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about Beavertown Brewery then. So Beavertown Brewery, as I've told you before, was established back in December 2011 by Logan Plant and Byron Knight in the kitchen of Duke's Brew & Q in de Beauvoir in Hackney in London. And Beavertown, of course, is the old Cockney name given to this area of London. So the brewhouse was actually located opposite the Smokers of Barbecue restaurant, and it only ran very small 650 litre brews in the beginning, but in March 2013 they moved out of their home at Duke's Brew & Q and moved into their new brew site in Fish Island in London, and since then they actually moved on once again to a new 11,000 square feet facility which is in Tottenham Hale, and this is where they also have their tap room, of course, although Duke's Brew & Q do still serve quite a lot of these Beavertown beers. They've actually got a fairly big brewing operation these days from what I gather, and of course these guys are probably one of the kind of better known English craft breweries, although I can't get them so easily over here in Sweden right enough, but they are exported to quite a few different places. I saw them in Japan, I'm sure. I think I saw them when I was in Australia and New Zealand actually, but a very, very good brewery, and if you want to get started in the English craft beer scene, then this is one that you definitely want to check out. The Gamma Ray, of course, is a bit of a classic. They've got the Smog Rocket as well. I think the English beer reviewers, they were actually doing a collaboration review at some point of these beers, so do check that out. I'll put the link to that in the description below as well. But it should be a really, really nice beer, this one, and like I said, a huge thank you to Craig for sending this one over to me. So just to tell you a little bit about the beer then before we taste it. So this guy is a 7% IPA. It's hopped with Columbus, Bravo, Amarillo, Citra and Calypso, and they apparently also added lactose, pineapple juice and mango puree to the whirlpool, and then mandarin, papaya, passion fruit, guava and lime juice in the latter stages of fermentation. As I mentioned, this beer was their 1000th brew, and it's a special variant of the Gamma Ray, like I said, so it should be a really, really damn awesome beer. Just to tell you about the Calypso hop as well, actually, because I'd never come across Calypso, and I think Bravo is a new one to me as well. I've probably had beers with them in it, but I've just never actually known that they were in the beer. So Calypso is an American high alpha acid hop. It's derived from nugget, of course, and it's supposed to give you a kind of orangey and tropical fruit with a little bit of pear and floral character as well. There's Bravo in here as well, which is another American high alpha acid hop. This was released by Hopsteiner in 2006, and this one is also supposed to give you a kind of orange and floral aroma as well, so it should be a really, really nice beer. There's some interesting hops in there. I do know Columbus, Amarillo and Citra, of course. Those are quite common hops to use, but the other two I think are a little bit less common. But Beavertown are a big, they're a big hop-headed brewery, and they absolutely love all these different things. So yeah, let's get this guy out then, and we'll get on with the tasting. I'll just like to have a little look at the artwork then. As you can see, really quite nice. It's got this kind of psychedelic, sort of Mad Skull kind of thing, 1970s. Always, you can tell there's a sort of Led Zeppelin influence in there. I do like that sort of really colourful artwork that these guys do, and I'll definitely be keeping this can. So yeah, let's get this guy out, and we'll get on with the tasting as well then. Yeah, there's a little bit of foam just popping out of this one, so we'll just be careful with this as we put it out into the glass. I should also point out as well that Craig sent one of these beers out to Peter, the Clueless Drinker in Germany as well, so you can also check out his review. He's another very nice guy that I've been in touch with over the course of doing these beer reviews. So yeah, I've met some really, really nice guys over this. Like I say, huge thank you to Craig for sending me this beer. Make sure you check out his channel, and do also check out Peter as well. He's another really, really nice chap. So yeah, as you can see, this beer is poured pretty much like, orange juice, to be honest. It's a big kind of thick, opaque orange colour, this one. I don't think there's any other way you can describe that. There's some big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass in this one, and just a few little ones going up towards the bottom of where the head should be. There was about a quarter finger of a frothy white head on this one, but it really does just look like a tropical fruit juice or an orange juice or something. There's no other way to describe that beer at all. It looks absolutely lovely. So let's take a closer look at the aroma then. I should also point out, as soon as you open the can of this beer, you get those big fruity esters coming out at you. But let's have a closer look at this then. Oh yeah, there's no mistaking that, Yeah, that's a really big kind of, it's just a tropical fruit punch, this one, I think that's exactly what they said on the website. I think I've just copied the website with what I was saying there when I was looking up the hops and things, but it really does smell just like a tropical fruit juice. It's lovely. I mean, it's really orangey, which is what you'd expect when you've got Amarillo, Calypso and Bravo in there. You can smell quite a bit of oranges coming out of it. They've added tangerines as well. And I think it really does lean towards the orange side of things. The kind of, the beer to me, it seems to be underpinned by the oranges, but then you can smell the other things on top of that. The guava's actually coming out quite nicely. Guava's a fruit that I'm not all that familiar with, but I can smell something that's just a little bit different, and I'm guessing that it is the guava coming out. But the mangoes are really apparent for me as well. You can smell the pineapple juice in there as well, and the lime is coming out quite nicely. You can pick out all these individual elements. Underneath, of course, you can get a little bit of pale malt. You can smell a little bit of the kind of milky lactose colour qualities coming out of this beer as well. But it does smell really, really nice. Yeah, it's. I don't know if this was kind of meant to be Beavertown going towards these New England style IPAs, but I think this is kind of definitely what it's probably going to lean towards. But it's absolutely lovely. If you get the chance to try this beer, I do hope Beavertown do this one again, because it was supposed to be very, very good. But it does, it smells absolutely lovely. If you love your big fruit forward IPAs, you're certainly going to love the aroma. This, for me, it's literally the oranges that are underpinning it. You can smell a little bit of the passion fruit in there as well once your nose adjusts to it. But the mangoes are coming out nicely. I'm picking up a little bit of the guavas, the lime in there as well, and you can pick up the pineapple as well. It's a really, it has everything you'd expect, and I suspect the reason the oranges are underpinning it is because it's Bravo, Calypso and Amarillo in this beer. The mangoes, of course, will be from the Citra. I'm not really picking up any grapefruit or anything like that though, which I think might be expected of Columbus. But the floral, the dark kind of floral character as well. All of these hops do have their own kind of element of floral character too, especially the Bravo, the Calypso and the Columbus. So just pay attention to that in this one, but it does smell very, very nice. So let's try this one then. So this is the Tropigamma, their 1000th brew from Beavertown Brewery in Tottenham Hale over in London. Once again, a huge thank you to Craig at Kent Beer Reviews for sending me this one. Skål. Oh yeah, that's pretty damn good. There's no doubt about that. That really is quite nice. In comparison to some of the other sort of West Coast IPAs and things that I've had, East Coast IPAs I should say, sorry, not West Coast IPAs, this one to me feels a little bit wetter. If I compare it to the obvious ones to compare it to are like Amazing Haze, Narangi, GBG Beer Week. Of course, there's the Brewski beers as well that have been coming out recently, the Conan Double IPA and stuff like this. This one does taste distinctively more wet, and it's probably just the fact that they've added pureed fruit and fruit juice and things to it. As I always say, you know, it's interesting with beers because as you try more and more of them, you can pick up things like when they add fruit to the brew, it comes out in the flavour differently. You can tell by where on your palate it usually comes out. If they add fruit to the brew, it usually comes out around the edge of your tongue, whereas if it's the hop oils, I always find it comes out just behind the front curve of your tongue. You get that little oily bubble where the fruity esters come out, and that's the hop oils that are coming out. But for this one, it's got a really interesting balance. There's big fruity juiciness around the edge of the palate, but also in that little oily bubble I'm talking about too. It's a really nice beer, this, there's no doubt. He's done a really damn good job with that. I would love to have tried this on tap actually. You know, if Beavertown never do this beer again, I'll say it straight up, if Beavertown never produce this beer again, it's an absolute sin, because it really is, it's very, very good. There's no doubt in my mind about that. But let's analyse the flavour a bit more. I'm just kind of singing its praises at the moment. Yeah. So with this one, it's really interesting the way it comes out, because the malt base on this one is very simple. You know, there's a little bit of pale malt in there. There's maybe a teeny little bit of, I'm getting a little bit of almost biscuity flavour to it. But I made sure I didn't eat anything or have anything before this beer when I'm reviewing it for you. But I'm getting a little almost biscuity sweetness just on the malt base there, and you can get a little bit of the smoothness, that lactose character. That seems to be a kind of new trend, of course, to add lactose to these IPAs, and it actually works very, very well. I do like that slightly kind of thicker mouthfeel that it gives to the beer. You can really, this beer is a little bit thicker in the mouthfeel as well, but at the same time it's a little bit wetter than some of the other kind of New England style IPAs that I've had. This is really, really good. That's lovely. Yeah, that's really nice, this one. I mean, I just love how all the flavours blend together. I mean, at the sides of your palate, where some of these hoppy characters are going to come out, it's not resinous, it's more of a spicy floral aromaticity that's coming out of this one. It doesn't quite have the kind of stingy character, I guess you would say, that you get of pine resins. It's more of a spicy sort of floral character that's coming out of this one, and that, I believe, it is a characteristic of both the Bravo and the Calypso and the Columbus, if I remember correctly. This is one of the things as a beer reviewer, you've always got to try and learn about new hops and everything like that. Even after nearly 1,000 videos, you are still learning, of course. And as I say, this was the first time I think that I've come across the Calypso hop. And I do love it. A lot of the brewers in Denmark and Sweden like to use the tomahawk and things like that. That's got a really nicely spicy floral character, but this works out really nicely. This is the flavours in this beer just balance so well actually. So with the fruity side of things, let's have a look at this then. You know, when you go to that little oily bubble behind the front curve of your tongue there, it's oranges. For me, it's pretty much all orange in there. Like when it comes in, it's just the orange that kind of saturates the palate, and then as the flavour progresses a bit more, it's the mango. So I think it's, you know, it's the Amarillo, the Calypso, the Brava coming out a little bit there. And then as the flavour progresses, you can pick up a little bit of these lighter fruity notes that you would associate with the Citra, of course. The mangoes are there. The mango's the dominant flavour I always find with Citra. But then you can feel, if you just concentrate on that little bit of your palate, you can feel a little bit of the sort of lychees and slightly gooseberry notes come off. You can feel that as you go right into the end of the aftertaste. Like, you've seen how long it was since I took a sip. At this point, I'm getting just a little bit of those kind of lychees and gooseberries that you expect of the Citra hop in there as well. So it starts off orange, then it moves to mango, and you get these lighter fruity esters that you associate with that as well. And there's a little bit of grapefruit in there too, which is the Columbus, if I remember correctly. If I remember rightly, Columbus does give you that nice grapefruit note, but there is definitely grapefruit just sitting under that comes out a little bit later on. But of course, with all of these fruit additions that they've made, you can feel those right around the front edge of your palate there. You know, I'm getting quite a bit of passion fruit from this actually. Like on the edge of the tongue, it's really the passion fruit for me that kind of underpins this one. The pineapple's in there as well, and a lot of these you start to notice in the early stages for me, the flavour of the beer really is dominated by the passion fruit. and the oranges, that you've got the passion fruit around the edge of your tongue, and then the oranges just in the little bit of the palate behind the front curve where you get the hoppy oils coming out. And of course, if they've added mandarins to the beer too, that'll contribute to the orangey character that this beer has. I forgot they'd added mandarins to this one. They've just put so many fruits in this beer. But yeah, it's the orangey. The oranges are underpinning this beer. There's no doubt in my mind about that. When you get into the aftertaste, you can pick up a little bit of the grapefruit, but the passion fruit really starts to come out in this one as well. I'm getting a little bit of the guava around the front curve of the palate. The lime, for me, I'm not picking up too much of that. I think it's like right in the centre actually, but there is a little bit of a limey character in there. The pineapple is coming out very nicely as well. You've got this whole array of things going on around the kind of front curve of your tongue, right on the edge, because that's where all of these juicy, fruity characters come out when you add fruit to the brew. And they've just put so many things in this one that it probably, like they were saying on the website, it's just a fruit punch basically. There's so much stuff going on, but it's just underpinned with this lovely spicy floral aromaticity. You know, this beer, there's a whole host of things going on in it. If you love these big New England IPAs, then this one is going to absolutely hit the spot for you. This is probably the most kind of complex one that I've come across actually. And I just love it how everything goes together, and the little bit of sweetness you get from the malt base, it's probably the lactose actually, the little bit of sweetness you get from the malt base in there, it just gives the beer a whole new dimension. It's just a really top quality beer. That's the only way to sum this beer up. There's so much going on in it, but it is such a top quality beer. So I'm hugely grateful to Craig that he was able to send me one of these. Like, really, honestly, thank you so much. I'm so glad I got to try this beer. It's very different from the Amazing Haze and the Rangi and GBG Beer Week, and those fruit additions that the beer has just make it really nice. And when I'm smelling it again, you can just, you know, as your nose adjusts to it, you can pick out all these different fruits. Just take a little bit of time and enjoy the aroma of this one. It is absolutely lovely, this beer. It's top stuff. I mean, to be honest with you, if it's only got a 94 on Rate Beer, I think that's a little bit low for this one. I'll be honest and say I think it should be up the sort of 97, 98, maybe even 99 kind of area. It really is kind of up there for me, this one. But the difference with this and the other ones is the mouthfeel, so we'll go over that now. The mouthfeel for me on this one is it's definitely mid-bodied, but it's actually pushing the heavier side of things, to be honest, when it comes to these New England IPAs. I'm getting a wee bit of alcohol warmth from this, and maybe that's the alcohol kind of mixing with the fruity side of things. But yeah, it's a really nice, there's a nice kind of moderate carbonation to this one. At the same time, it's got a little bit of crispness, but at the same time it's kind of soft. It's got a big oily and slightly creamy mouthfeel, and that's the lactose coming out as well. There's a little bit of warmth, like I said. There's a huge fruity, juicy character in there. There's a nice hoppy bitterness as well, and like I said, the malt base is quite smooth, but you do get a little bit of thickness, a little bit of kind of sweetness to it as well. But the key difference for me in this one is how the sort of juicy, fruity characters come out on this one. But it's lovely. It really is good. Like I said, I think it's a little bit underrated on Rate Beer right enough. And but the key thing is it's got all these different additions of fruit to it, and it really just it goes together so well. You know, I think they've just chucked everything into this beer, and it turned out really well. So, you know, a huge thumbs up to Beavertown once again on this one. I've actually never had a beer from these guys that disappoints. I think this is my 4th or maybe 5th review from these guys now. So yeah, if you haven't tried any of the Beavertown beers, you definitely need to have a look at it. If you can get a hold of this one, you definitely need to. Like I said, this was a special beer for their 1000th brew. They probably don't do it anymore, but I think if they're never going to brew this beer again, I think that's an absolute sin. This beer really is very, very good. So yeah, if you get the chance to try it, definitely do it. Make sure you check out Craig's channel, of course. Thank you to him for sending me this beer again. I hope you've enjoyed my review on this one. I've rambled quite a bit with it, but this is a damn good beer. Just to sum it up, if you like your New England style IPAs, you're going to enjoy this one, and if you like IPAs that have had fruit added to them, then this one will be right up your street. But I'm really glad I got to try this one. A huge thank you to Craig once again. But yeah, thank you for watching my beer reviews. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Do let me know your own thoughts on this beer in the comments section below if you happen to have tried it. Make sure you check out the other beer reviewers that I've mentioned. But thank you once again for watching, and I will catch you guys very soon. Don't hesitate to get in touch with me through the social media channels, and make sure you try some of these Beavertown beers. They are really pretty damn good. So yeah, try this one or try the Gamma Ray if you want a kind of big hop forward beer. Thank you again to Craig for this one, and I'll catch you guys very soon. It's lands just now, the Tropigamma Tropical IPA, the 1000th brew from Beavertown Brewery in Tottenham Hale, London. Cheers.